Well, we are just barely plodding along today. I tell you though, we've gone up a couple of significant hills that I would have swore did not exist as a downhill for me yesterday, heading that way. It's funny too how Johnny mentioned last time, it doesn't matter how much you take out of your backpack, it never feels lighter. I'm probably, when I first saddled up yesterday, and then I had to take my shirt off and put it on the pack, and carrying this tripod and camera, I was probably pushing about 58, 59 pounds. And this trail right now, if you can kind of see, has some bare spots, and wherever the snow, you don't sink in more than an inch or so, it's fine. But in those spots where you're sinking in a whole foot, whoa. Well, we just stopped for a moment here in a nice sunny patch, and Tilly's decided to play with her stick. Ready? Oh, girl. Bring her back. Bring her back. Found some cell reception here, so just texting Claire, making sure she knows we're okay, and heading back to the next camp spot. The more I think about it, the more I'm probably going to do Devil's Bend tomorrow. So we'll probably just walk down Devil's Bend quite a ways, or not quite a ways, but a little ways. I'm not going to make today too strenuous, and then finish up by walking Devil's Bend all the way back to the car. And the reason for that, we weren't going to backtrack like that. I was going to walk the main road, but since we really missing out on a big portion of this loop, might as well just do a retrace of steps. It'll all look new anyway from the different angles. So. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, so we're back to the trail junction that goes to the escarpment trail, and down, then there's the sign. We went that way. My Garmin is showing just 2 kilometers. I can't even see if... so I only made it 2 kilometers from this point that way. This is a big, serious downhill now, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on the little dog. Careful. Hey, hey, hey. Well, that was not easy, but we made it down it. This last little bit there was kind of a bit of a trick. I had to lift Tilly over that mess of stuff. So let's go on down to the waterfall. Now, there's a bit of ice still here, so pardon the camera work until I get to the bridge, I guess. Okay. So that should be it for the extreme sports portion of the trip. Cross this thing. Let's go. Come on. Well, we just stopped to have a snack here on the side of the hill. Camera's kind of parked right on the trail that goes down to where we meet the Devil's Bend trail. And plan now, it's early, like we made it all the way to here in an hour and 15 minutes, and it was 3 kilometers. Whereas yesterday, I think it took us 2 to 3 just to get that distance, it was not great. So this trip being a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Johnny obviously couldn't come. He works regular schedule. He's not on vacation. Scott really likes the hikes, but he just wasn't able to put it together for this one. A lot of the other people I know that may like camping, this wouldn't really suit probably their gear that they have, because it did probably get to -1 or 2 overnight. And so you kind of need some decent gear just to get in and just to sleep in that. But if you're hiking in, it's got to be a little bit lighter. Now, obviously, I carried in too much weight, but so we ended up coming out solo, didn't we, Pup? Better than sitting around the house. Yeah. Probably going to eat the sandwich that I brought now. Give her another couple of little bites of food, too. And then go in search of the next site. So the best part about today is that we really have no agenda, and where I'm only going to walk another couple K and then find a campsite. We have no rush either, so I'm just going to plod along, take as long as I can to do the next 2 to 3 kilometers, and then leisurely set up the site, find a nice sunny patch. It's just after, it's about 12:45 right now, I guess. There's no snow left that I have to worry about, so I've taken the gaiters out of my Fall Raven Keb pants, and they do help a bit, but in this crusty snow, when you break through it, I think they'd help better for powder. In the crusty snow, you break through, and then it just pushes the gaiter up if you've broke through in the right angle. So. Yesterday I made the mistake of not drinking near enough on the hike itself, and I ended up even having a few cramps in the hammock in my legs. That's typically what happens to me when I get dehydrated. So just now, about half a kilometer to a kilometer ago, Tilly and I decided we'd stop at the Kenomee River, right where the crossing was from yesterday, where we could have went around the escarpment trail, and we just went down, gave a few minutes to try to rehydrate a bit. I'm 5.5 K into today, which means that when I get to 6, I'll only have 5 tomorrow, but it also means that the more I walk today, the less I have to do tomorrow. I don't want to be 5 o'clock though, or 4 o'clock by the time I get to the site. I think it was 4 yesterday when we actually got to where we wanted to go. I'd like to have more time just to sort of enjoy the camp itself this time. Ooh, we are on quite a side hill here. That is a long way down. Keep moving before the dog takes interest. Yeah, so I'm hoping today to have a little bit more leisure time at the campsite. So. Well, looks like we're on our way back up again. The trail had gone right back down by the river. Kind of stayed along there for about 1 kilometer. We're only 6.45 kilometers in, so I didn't really want to stop there. And now it's through roulette to see if I can find another water source and a nice camping spot. We are back to where I stopped for lunch the first day, and it's just over 7 and a bit kilometers, so I'm thinking we may just hunt around this general area for a place to put up our hammock, because we got this little trickling water source. I want to be right next to that if possible. There's a really neat mound right there. It's hard to tell, but the water runs around the side of it. There's not a lot of flat ground though, is the only thing. What? This may be our home for the night. There's no need for whining. Let's figure it out. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be the site that we're going to pick. There's a big dead tree right there. I'm going to go from this tree right here to it. But I'm going to go cut it off at about 7 feet high, 6-7 feet high as I can get it. Just because it's broken off dead at the top and I don't want that falling on me, so that's going to be the first thing we try. Watch it. Stick! Well, unfortunately, I've decided to abandon that site. Did a bit of work there to get it ready, and I just kept forcing it. I was like, yeah, this is great, and it was not. So better to call it quits now after 20 minutes of work, as opposed to sitting there all night and being unhappy with it, because it was wet under feet. There was a lot of logs that I couldn't dig up out of the snow. I would have had that nice log bench that you saw from the tree I fell. The only issue was it was over top of a marshy area, so you couldn't really sit there without getting your feet wet. But yeah, I learned the hard way on the Cape Chignecto trip with the boys. I wanted to set up at a camp, and it wasn't quite right, and I tried to make it work, and we had to leave it. And they made the call on that one, thankfully, because the one we found after that was perfect. Over there is where that other look off that we were at. Tilly, come on. Let's go. Well, we found a spot that's a little bit better than the other ones. The river is behind me. Probably can't hear it. And there's a big cliff face in front of us, which it's going to block out a bit of our sunlight a little later on. And we're in kind of a stand of fir trees, so that's going to make it a little darker than I would hope. But it's a lot better option than our last spot, and I'm going to go set up here now. A couple of big trees here. I just got to cut a few of the underbrush away and get set up. And we're at 8.75 kilometers for today, whereas yesterday was only 11, so didn't end up doing a lot less. Oh well, time to get to work. As you can see here, Tilly has decided she needs a bed. I learned this little thing from watching barber videos. I'm going to put down a bunch of these fir boughs. Tilly, come. And this is going to go under her tent. And this is going to help me sleep better tonight. You stay there. Because last night I was a little worried that she was going to be a little cold. So this not only will give her a cushion, it'll bring her up off the ground and keep her away from the cold. This is where my fire pit's going to be, down here. I realize that I'm cutting off in the shot here, but I'm about to split some wood. This piece that I'm sitting on top of right here actually turned out to be a fairly decent piece. So I'm going to, what am I going to do here? I'm going to split it in half, a couple of them for the bottom piece. Oh, and it's even going to split. That's rare. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I've just split that into a bunch of little pieces. This is my tinder, I guess. Got a lot of real fine stuff. This should go like crazy. I don't know how good the bottom stuff is. The way I look at it with fire is you're better off overbuilding it, making it go the first time, than messing around with constantly trying to get it to burn. I'm just going to start manically adding it. Ooh. Yeah. Guess that's the way the wind's blowing. While this is going to go, I think I'm going to go get some water because I got to get started on some coffee. I am trying to get my feet a little dried out. They are completely soaked. I don't know if you can tell, this fire isn't going as well as yesterday's. Now it's all softwood instead of hardwood. There could be something to do with it. But I think it's finally caught towards the bottom, so I just need it hot enough to kind of make to cook on. So Tilly and I are going to have an almond finger right now. Just as a consolation, we already had one earlier. The reason is that it was such a disappointment to find that at the campsite. Think it was going to be okay, and then to have to abandon. So the river's down that way. The hammock is behind you. I'm going to see if I can whizzle you around and show you. That's where it is, right there. And I set up kind of quite a bit closer to the river this time. Just it was kind of the best overall spot. Oh, there's where I burned the handle off. Anyway, sorry Mom, still works. Yeah, so I don't really feel like one of those backpacking meals. So we will have what I have here for breakfast that I was supposed to eat this morning. And that is going to consist of bacon, sausage, egg, and hash brown. The hash brown going to take a little while, so I think I got to get started on those. Doesn't involve Hawkins, but I got a feeling Tilly and I will be involving the Hawkins tonight. Okay. So there's the bacon I got. It's not your typical stuff. It's round, but I think it's going to be awesome. And then I've got one sausage left from last night's meal, which I didn't use. I'm going to get it because it has the butter in it. And I've got an egg. Now, if you know me at all, you know everything's probably going to go in at once. It's going to turn into a skillet. Now that's too hot of a fire to cook on. I should have probably let it cool down more, but I'm impatient. But let's start with a coffee. Make Tilly happy. Ooh. So that's what happens when you have too high a heat with butter. Just so everyone knows. Oop. Alright. Thank you for telling me. You live and learn. Okay, well I'm going to put some more wood on then to dampen that fire a bit. Oh yeah, those are done. Those are done. So I'm going to put the sausage, ham, and bacon back in. Ooh, dropped a little bit of snow in there. That's all right. And I guess the last thing to do is just throw the one egg that I have in. That is amazing. I realize it's 90% meat, but you approve, eh? Supper's done. The pup is right there. Ooh, looks like, I don't know if you can see her in there. I see the camera kind of metering on the trees there. It's beautiful right now. It's just all that sunshine up there. But I'm going to have my Propeller double IPA. Not far to go tomorrow, but I don't want to carry anything extra. We ended up eating all of that meal. I'd like to say that Tilly ate more than her share, but she's only little. She'd probably eat more, but ooh. Just realized that I melted the inside of my cup. I don't know if you can see that bubble. Right, it's right here. Oh, there, we can see it there now. Ugh. Well, gonna need a new one of these. I brought my pipe with me, so I'm about to have that. Kind of got a lot of my clothes on already. I usually don't put this many on this early, but it seemed to make sense today. I even put my long johns on. I didn't bother doing that at all yesterday, and I probably don't need to, but I want to sleep in them tonight as opposed to sleeping in the pants again. I'm still wearing my pants because they're going to go in with Tilly's tent. With the bows down, though, I'm going to have no worries for her tonight. She actually crawled in there a couple of times to go to sleep, and now she's down here on my coat asleep. So she's having a great time. Well, Tilly has decided she was cold for some reason, so I gave her my only coat, and it's 7:30 right now. And I think I'm going to have to go and get the sleeping bag for her to wrap around her so I can throw the coat on. About 10 to 8 right now. Tilly got my sleeping bag, just as I suspected she would, but I needed this coat now. It was starting to get a little cool. But it's time for some bourbon. I know it's pretty late in the day to be getting into it, but that IPA took forever. Or sorry, that double IPA took forever to drink, so we're just sitting down here enjoying the campfire. So I don't know a lot of harmonica tunes. I know how to kind of fill in the background a bit, but I wish I could play more. Dirty Old Town's about the only thing I can play really start to finish, and I'm not great at that. I'll work on it. Probably head to bed around 9:30 or 10. I don't know though, I'm not tired at all. There's a bright moon up above us. I wish I could show you. I think I showed you last night. It's the same moon, it's just slightly better. Unfortunately though, I'm in with the fir trees, so it's blocked out quite a bit more. I can see a couple of stars, which is pretty nice. And our fire has about 25 minutes left, but it's pretty meager compared to what it was. I've almost dried my boots out, like I've taken the insoles out, and I haven't had boots on for quite a while, so my sock feet have been drying as well, which is awesome. Well, I've kind of just been sitting watching the stars and the moon and drinking some bourbon, and it's about 10:30 at night, and it's time for bed. A little chilly. It's about, must be below zero by now. Tilly's all bedded down. We're just going to head to sleep. So we'll see you in the morning. Take the lens cover off. See what happens. Oh, it's fogged up. Well, good morning. It's 8 o'clock. And yeah, we had a pretty good night's sleep. Went to bed around 10:15 or so. I got up around 5:30 in the morning to just go to the washroom, and then let this one in the hammock with me. So my battery's about to die, so I may have to switch over to the other camera because I don't have any others. Anyway, we'll see how the footage comes out on this thing. So just be packing up and walking up the hill anyway. Yeah, what do you think, Pupper? I'm back to my old friend the HX80, which isn't a terrible thing. Just gonna make coffee. I've already taken the tarp down from over top of the hammock. It's really damp. The tarp itself had some mist on it. I noticed my sleeping bag had some condensation on the outside of it too. I'm not really sure if that was what's going on here or what, but we're not going to be here all that long, so I'm just going to use my little alcohol stove and brew up enough water for a coffee as well as oatmeal, and then we'll probably get to tearing down more things and scamper. Already got Tilly's little tent tore down. I think those boughs underneath of it last night made her really comfortable, made me more comfortable sleeping anyway. Just had to really pee. I think I overdid it on the bourbon. Ugh. Got a good solid 10 hours of sleep with that little one interruption to get up to go to the bathroom, and that's it. So it did go below zero. There is ice in there. At first I didn't think there was. But it's rapidly warming up. I think today's supposed to be 15 degrees. It's obviously not that yet. No? No? Not till we put some oatmeal in it? Not till we put some oatmeal in it? Okay. Every day so far, it's just been camp chores. Like, you get to camp and you're just constantly going. Either I'm cutting more firewood or getting the coffee and getting the food ready or trying to plan this, or you know, it's just one thing after another. It sounds hectic, but it's nice actually. Well, my second batch of water's boiling, so that means it's time to eat the one measly pack of oatmeal I have. I don't know where my second one went, but we have some leftover Hawkins cheesies that we can have. I don't know if you can see that mist that's floating past the trees through the light. It's beautiful. Well, Tilly's not interested in oatmeal this morning. She's funny that way. Like, she'll have days where will eat anything, and other days will turn her nose up at the stuff that she begged you for the day before. But I know one thing she will eat. But we're going to warm them up today. What a beautiful day. It's 20 after 9. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the rest of my coffee. Packing up isn't going to be that big of a chore. I know that I just got to fire everything in. We've pretty much gotten rid of most of our food. I've got enough for another 2 meals if I was going to stay out, but both of them are dehydrated. One's the MRE, one's a dehydrated meal. Got rid of most of our fluids. I unfortunately drank almost all of that bourbon. Regretting that now. So last night I had my axe sitting near the fire to drape the socks and stuff to dry on. And look what happened. Almost looks like I did that on purpose, but that's where the fire scorched the handle. Looks kind of nice. Should have done it to the other side. Well, it's been an amazing 3 days. I'd call it solo, but really feels like I've got a second person along when Tilly comes with me, so she's not a lot of bother, other than staring over the odd cliff and giving me a fright now and again. From here, I just gotta, like I've said before, just gotta finish packing up. There's not much really to do. Throw everything in the bag and away we go. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to click like, go ahead. If you want to see more videos like these, I'm starting to build up a stockpile of them. So if you want to subscribe, you can. You don't have to. I'm going to keep making the videos. Canoe season's on us, and fishing season starts in a few days. So as soon as the ice is out, we're going to get out for a few days on the water and see about some trout fishing. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, keeping in mind that the videos are still probably going to be focused on the camping side of things, because I'm an okay fisherman, but I do that sort of on the way to the campsite typically. I'm not usually going in for the fishing, but who knows? Well, this coffee's pretty much done, so Tilly and I are going to pack her up, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.